Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Very nice.
You're goddamn right.
And here we are. Rawr. Everything is working. All good. Welcome. My name is Ike. This is Switzerland.playit with TAGN, the angry game news, every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Talking about games. Games hardware. Video games in general, of course. And shows and TV and movies and film and all that stuff. Today we have a big focus on Ubisoft. It was all over the news over the weekend, and we have to address what was said a little bit, and we have to talk about Ubisoft. Ubisoft is in a very bad position overall, and what we got over the weekend doesn't make the case for Ubisoft better in general. It seems like they are in big troubles even more. Ahoy Evereden, ahoy Saint D12, ahoy ouch my junk. How are you guys doing? So let's get into it. We have a lot of other stories too. I try to cover as much as possible as usual on this show. It's not always easy, and this weekend was packed with Ubisoft news, with Donkey Kong Bonanza, because many people like it, and I think if you enjoy that game, fine. For me, it looks like a very generic Nintendo game. But kids are gonna love it, and it's gonna be a huge success, and it's gonna keep winning, pretty much. You know who is not gonna win, though? If you own or want movies on the Microsoft platforms. 12 years after Xbox One's all-in-one vision my ass, Microsoft will no longer sell films or TV shows. The change happened on July 18th when Microsoft confirmed that it will no longer sell movies or TV and that no refunds would be available for any previously purchased content. Microsoft has claimed that already purchased shows will be able to be re-downloaded going forward. A statement on the Microsoft support site reads, Microsoft no longer offers new entertainment content for purchase, including movies and TV shows on Microsoft.com, Microsoft Store on Windows and the Microsoft Store on Xbox. However, you can continue to access your purchased content in the Movies and TV app on Xbox or Windows device. This move seemingly marks a complete shift away from offering video content 12 years after the disastrous Xbox One launch, which positioned the console as an all-in-one home entertainment device. Yeah, I mean, I might have something for free on my Xbox account. I don't really know, to be honest, because I rarely use it. But yeah, 12 years after the launch of the all-in-one home entertainment device, they just stopped selling that stuff on their platform at all. Which is weird because they tried really hard all the time and bring those extra apps since I think it was Windows 8 point something. They brought those TV and movie apps and all that, which was pretty much just a player, but included like the connection to the store, and you can just select it there and download it. Or weird. So the success never there. Today Ubisoft is a great company at losing stock. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about their stock holding session, or what you call it, the shareholders stuff. Buy physical media and hold on to it if you can. Yes, it's becoming rarer and rarer, the physical media in general, because that also breaks down, right? Just like here, you have to own the physical media, otherwise you will be not able to get even on digital platforms anymore at all. And just a little side note, Microsoft should have learned, I think they should have learned from the mistakes of other companies with their Xbox One, because prior to that Xbox One launch, Sony actually tried that too, like this all-in-one solution recorder, home entertainment system with the PlayStation X, PSX, the original PSX. It was like a PlayStation 2 with included recording functions and all that, within including hard drive, and had never success. It didn't even go outside in the international market. Only in Japan it was available for a few months pretty much, and just very few people know actually about that. It looks like a nice console, and I saw it almost here in Switzerland live, but I decided, why go there just to see that hardware that will never take off. It was a dear like TiVo. Yeah, TiVo. Nobody uses TiVo either, so. Yeah, but what I mean is Microsoft should have learned, because nobody really wanted that. It was, and at the PlayStation times, at PlayStation 2 times, recorders were way more like prevalent in the markets in general. People like that more, like to be able to record their new upcoming stuff in the digital world. But yeah, Microsoft, I guess they didn't want to learn, but it's up to them. A little side note, because we have a lot of Dark Souls-like fans out there, right? And especially FromSoft is beloved. I am not a big Dark Souls fan. A few the Souls-like game I like, but other than that, not mine. But I have to report on stuff like that, right? Dark Souls, Elden Ring Dev may have another new game for 2026. This article just talks about how FromSoft has some projects ongoing with the codename FMC, and You might have fun in 2026. Beside the exclusive, what was it called, Dusk Bloods for the Switch 2, FromSoft is going to deliver you something new. Probably a Dark Souls 3 remaster or remake, who knows? Because that was always in the back talked about rumored. Oh, haste. Good to see you. Another side note, if you love those movies, you're gonna love this one. Maybe. I don't think so, because we have a little detail which pisses me off already when I read stuff like that. New Purge film in the works from franchise creator James DeMonaco. The Purge creator James DeMonaco revealed the bloody disgust, too bloody disgusting, this website, that he and his wife have written a 6th film in the franchise. I just finished the script. My producer, Sebastian Lemarquier, had read multiple drafts, given me notes. We just handed it to Jason Blum, he tells me. I'm really happy with it. I hope they like it. I think it's cool and fun. We're hoping next year would be great to shoot. Maybe the end of this year, if timing works out. But now it's with the powers that be, so we'll see what happens. Then we create some real great female heroes in this one. There's some really amazing women. We've had some great women in the past, but real warrior women come forth here in a way that we haven't really explored on Purge Night. Demonacus continues. It's been really fun to write, and I'm writing with my wife, so I'm getting a nice female perspective, and that's been really fun. I don't have anything against like female heroines, right? Who cares, really? But the point is that you present it here like that's the most amazing shit ever. So I don't know. I think it's dead on arrival, at least for me. I might watch it when it's free on some platform. I don't know. I just don't look forward to stuff like that when I read those lines. That is so prominent here in this article. It's concerning to me. I watched pretty much all the movies. I even watched at least the first season. I don't know if I watched the second season of the TV show. Yeah, there is a TV show out there, the Purge TV show. I can't remember shit really from the show. So there you go. But if you're a fan of those Purge movies, maybe you're gonna like it. We're gonna see. Cock. Okay, yeah, I mean, maybe. No, Cock is just a pussy. We don't know if he likes to watch his wife get banged. Grand Theft Auto 6 sales projection may be unrealistic, analyst says. Oh, now we get another analyst. I reported on that 7.6 billion analyst projection back when it was published. Daniel Ahmed, the director of research and insights at Nico Partners, shared his assessments of Convoy's predictions and noted that it's an aggressive forecast for the first 60 days. Ahmed added that Convoy's numbers suggest that just under 65% of users who have either Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 would need to purchase the game in that time frame. Ahmed also pointed out that Grand Theft Auto 5 sold 32.5 million copies in its first 3 months, not 2 months like the Convoy predictions, with that amount of sales. In 2013, when Xbox 360 and PS3 had an install base of around 166 million users, that's just under 20% of players who had either console. Yeah, I kind of agree with him. Seems like very exaggerated numbers from Convoy's predictions. But we don't really know, because Rockstar has blown up like the insanity numbers, really. It might get those numbers, we don't really know, because the question is, Daniel Ahmed, how he counted like the numbers himself. Like, was he on a base of $70 per game? $80? $90 maybe? Most likely it's gonna be $80 for at least for the console releases. At least 80. But I don't know, Rockstar might go even $90 for the console releases too. I assume it's gonna be on PC at least 90. And we don't know if players are gonna buy like deluxe editions, which gonna be available at the beginning too. How much you're gonna invest in the deluxe edition? Is it $130? Is it, I don't know, 150, 160? We don't know. So who is more right? That's the question. If the game cost them $2 billion, like reported earlier, they might invest in marketing a lot, and like every second player might buy it in the first 60 days. We have no clue, really. Who knows? We're gonna see. But yes, the numbers are pretty high with 7.6 billion in the first 2 months. Very high. Do they know more than we do? Probably. More rumors about that though. Sony engineers allegedly helping Rockstar achieve 60 frames per second in GTA 6 on PS5 Pro. As of right now, 60 FPS is being achieved on the PS5 Pro only. This could obviously change before release. It is anticipated that GTA 6 will have multiple graphical options on the PS5 Pro on release. Also, the Rockstar PlayStation 5 marketing deal is what's allowing and encouraging this collaboration on optimization. It should see several GTA 6 PlayStation bundles in the next marketing push. This info is from a PlayStation engineer who has provided highly accurate and verified info several times in the past. So it's just rumors pretty much, because anonymous sources, right? You're not gonna name those people, but you can trust it if you want and all that. What I wanted to point out here is, at what point did the console makers thought like it was a good thing to put in options for games, like to change like the visuals? I think that's pretty much a downfall of the console games in general. Because back in the days, you made like, for the hardware it was available, you made the game as good looking as possible if you knew about programming, about developing, right? And you just put all your heart and soul to make the best product. Hopefully everybody buys it, right? But in these days, because it has pretty much just PC parts in those consoles, right? At what point they decided, let's give the player the ability to change settings in graphical visual effects and all that? At what point was that a good idea? In my opinion, was never a good idea. They should have not allowed like developers to put any of that stuff in the games. Like, you have this hardware at your hands, and just make the game run as best as possible, and don't mess around with settings on the hardware. I just find it weird we are in this position today. And that's why we have PS5 Pro now, and you can do settings like ray tracing, lower ray tracing, and all that stuff if you don't want that, to have better frame rates. It's just weird to me. It's just weird. That's all I can say. Also weird that somebody invests that amount of time in a Zelda game. 3,660 hours in Zelda. Strongest soldier is farming max stacks of everything in Tears of Kingdom by hand for a world first. You will find me to be a man of my word. So we have just this guy who invests all his time in getting all the resources maxed out in his inventory. We can just watch this little clip just to see how it looks. Oh shit. And enlarge there on Reddit. I'm not going to enlarge it on Reddit. And he has just his route in the world, and goes on gathering all that stuff, like killing monsters. And he explains that the monsters have like timers They are not gonna respawn in the next 10 hours and such. But in the meantime, when he does one of his circles there, he can go use other resources to get more of this and that, you know. I find it crazy to invest that amount of time in a game just to have everything maxed out in your inventory. But kudos to him for this endurance, for this stamina, pretty much. Weird. The whole article, as usual, in the video description if you want to read it yourself. And he goes back and forth with some Reddit users, explains why he does that and all that. Weird. Better stability than a gaming PC with Windows. I don't know about that. Achievement unlocked. Now go outside and touch grass. He is not going to touch grass for another 1,000 hours or some shit. Shall we go slowly into Ubisoft stuff? That's going to be the main portion of this show today. It's rough. It was a little bit rough to read all that stuff and to watch some videos, but yeah. First, maybe something like more brighter news. 5 years after it was announced, Ubisoft says the Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake is coming very soon. Very soon, I mean, it would be very soon for me if it's gonna be in the next 4 months or some shit. And not next year. 5 long years after Ubisoft announced the Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake, the studio says the game is releasing very soon, in quotation mark. To be fair, in between the remake's announcement in 2020 and now was a complete development reboot in 2023. I reported on that. They just changed the studio pretty much and gave it, did it outsource. I think it was India, in an Indian studio there. And yeah, they are working hard on it, I guess. That has never been officially explained. Still, with a 2026 release window, 6 years is a long time to make a game that already exists. Yeah, I hope for the players, for us, it's just going to be an amazing remake. And I hope it's going to be a remake and not just a... well, it might be very bad though, remake. Not a remaster, yeah. I forgot. Why did I forget that? I love the Prince of Persia Sands of Times on Xbox. I played it mainly on Xbox, later on PC. And I have it on GOG. You can get it on GOG. Right now, probably not on sales, but you can get the first trilogy for in the new era, in the newer era on GOG. And it works perfectly fine. It's playable and it's very enjoyable. So there you go. We have to wait and see how this is gonna go, man. But I'm not looking super forward to it. It's weird they need such amount of time. That's true. For a remake, for a story that's already made, you know. Why do we need so much time, right? Prince of Persia: Sands of Time does not need a remake. Leave it alone. It does not really need a remake, but it might profit from a remaster, like just visually, you know. Make everything 16:9 compatible, right? Make it visually more attractive, just enhance effects, enhance environment, higher textures. A remaster might be a good idea. Let's see how that goes with the remake here in 2026, like Ubisoft tells us. Ubisoft told us a lot. Last week they had like the shareholders, the stockholders meeting, the annual one, where stockholders, like in every company who sells and buys stocks, right, back and forth, has a meeting once a year to talk with the CEOs. Everybody who holds those stocks can do a little talky talk. And that's what Ubisoft had, and somebody had questions. Ubisoft chief confronted in person with questions about woke, why is it in quotation mark? It is woke content and stop killing games. In a moment that saw Twitter X briefly become real life, Ubisoft CEO was face to face last week with a shareholder and gamer who pressed him pressed on two of the most strident online criticism against the company. One expressing animus over the Black Samurai in this year's Assassin's Creed Shadows, the other about a popular web petition decrying game publishers for rendering aging online games unplayable. Woke or not, in quotation mark. The shareholder asked Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot during the Q&A portion of the company's annual shareholder meeting in Paris via an official live translation of the event. And later from the same questionnaire regarding the Stop Killing Games movement, do you support that petition? I'll share the full question of Guillemot's lengthy answer below. Spoiler, he didn't take the woke bait. Why you call it woke bait? I think it was a sincere question to find out what is the path of Ubisoft. And said, we wanted to showcase characters with heroic journeys. Which Yasuke didn't have. Yasuke just didn't have a heroic journey in real life. As for the petition, he said the company is working on the online games issue. Like non-answers. Just like, I don't want to take any liability for what my company produced. I was involved. I was probably asked multiple times, do you really want to publish it this and that way? And you gave your okay and all that. So you don't want to take any liability. Which is weird, isn't it? No, it's not. Because all the CEO with some brain are not going to take liability. Otherwise they would be paying themselves like fines and shit. As usual. And speaking about Yasuke, I checked it out a little bit as far as I could about his heroic journey. He was pretty much a slave for his entire life. Pretty much. He was sold as into slavery. He was used as a bodyguard for his whole life. And he supposedly got out of slavery in India and went with an Italian missionary to Japan. Why he decided for that, who knows? Might be just mythical tales, who knows, really. And in Japan, he went below Nobunaga Shogun, I think it was, as a pretty much a boy who holds the weapons. Goes into war and just is a little weapon holder boy. I don't know the word right now, what you would call this position. But first, some scene settings. Ubisoft annual shareholder meeting occurred on July 10th and began in standard fashion with Guillemot and Ubisoft Chief Financial Officer Frédéric Dugan seated at the tables in the meeting room, taking turns representing the company's strategy and financial results. While such events don't usually involve any new game reveals, Guillemot did mention the upcoming launch of a Ghost Recon game, a project that hasn't been officially announced. And now with that you officially announce it, pretty much. Moron. Then for about half an hour prior to successful votes regarding the company's board of directors and pay packages, Guillemot and Duguay took questions from shareholders who stood up from rows of raised seats to ask about financial plans, the company's future and more. The CEO and the CFO were asked about Assassin's Creed Shadows' budget. Guillemot would only say that it exceeded 100 million euros. Roughly about 116 million US dollars, which is a no-brainer and likely far lower than the game's cost. Yes. And that's the point where the shareholders should have voted for a different CEO. Because if you're being asked how much was the budget for that and this and all such things, and you're just telling them it exceeded it. That's stupid, man. You're just lying to me. I'm a shareholder. I'm like your boss, actually. in that sense. And you're telling me not the real numbers. Why? What are you hiding? Why are you afraid of telling me the real numbers? It's probably more about 250, 300 million dollars. Who really knows? Because they are not telling us. I think you should be held accountable and get fucked pretty much, right? Very, very weird behavior in my opinion. They were asked about lessons learned from Star Wars Outlaws' failure in terms of sales. Aside from designing issue, Gilmore noted that Outlaws was released at the time when the brand that it belonged to was in a bit of a choppy waters. And that was a big news over the whole weekend, like Ubisoft here, the CEO mainly, blaming actually the franchise for being like in a bad position right now. Star Wars having like a bad reputation at the very moment, which is BS and also true though. Yes, Star Wars. I think everybody who hears Star Wars these days, who loved like the original trilogy and maybe the prequels. I like the first 6 episodes, all of them. I have no issues with the prequels, with the origins pretty much, right? But since Disney got hold of that franchise, I think many people are very not pleased with it. So yeah, he is right. The name Star Wars isn't the same as it was like 20 years ago, for sure. But there are other companies who made good games, who made successful games, like Star Wars Fallen Order, and the continuation with Star Wars, what was it, Jedi, just Jedi called, I think, or something, with the same red hat guy, you know. Very successful, actually. They didn't invest too much money in it, and that's successful. It was kind of like a Souls-like almost games, which you could have enjoyed in building up your character and all that, man. Just weird behavior overall. Hell games. Survivor? Jedi Survivor. Was it Jedi Survivor? So those 2 games were successful. So you can't blame like your failure on the name itself. Because everybody knows, who has paid a little bit attention to your Outlaws, it was dog shit. It was buggy as fuck. It was glitchy everywhere in every situation. It was very bad designed. It was visually not super pleasing. The character, you just uglified this girl, you know. And it was originally Kenobi, I think, or no, Han Solo was the original character and all that. So you fucked your own game up. Don't blame the name only. That's cheap. That's cowardly. You're just being cowardly again. Not only telling us not the real numbers of the budget of Assassin's Creed, but now blaming others for your failure. Can you also blame others for your failure in Assassin's Creed? Can you blame your failures on others about Sea of Thieves, about Avatar, the game? And people forgot about that. The game itself was not even like glitchy or anything like that, but your marketing and your strategy was just bad. It was just bad. All right, John Thunder. So you're being just a bitch right now, man, and you're not making the case better for Ubisoft. I think I haven't taken a look on the prices since all that happened. I assume the price tanked a little bit after all those little sayings there. And that would be a good opportunity to buy Ubisoft stock, actually, to make it like a little bit money in the next 5 years or so. Who knows? Some money back. They were asked by one frustrated shareholder, I'm very unhappy with the catastrophic share price with minus 40% over the 10 years, about, among other things, what they thought of Riot's multiplayer game Valorant. Highlights from that exchange below. Yeah, everybody forgot about this game too. It was there at one point and it just vanished. Nobody has that in mind anymore. Valorant, yeah. I think it was not even a bad game or anything like that, but something about Ubisoft, man, it's just not clicking with players since a long time now. And they were asked by a current employee if Ubisoft is interested in making more double A-scale games to offset the risk of more expensive productions. Gilmore kind of said yes. Full exchange for that below as well, behind the paywall. But we're gonna have more on that. While the meeting occurred a week ago and has been archived on Ubisoft's website since then, there's been little to no reporting about the event. They might don't want to report on it. Thankfully, here at the GameFile, blah blah blah. Yeah. And this guy read the whole report, 380 pages, the annual report, which is crazy, but he likes to punish himself, I guess. So yeah, the main things is like blaming the name of Star Wars for your failure game and blaming and not telling us the real numbers of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Weird, just weird. No liability. How about we just take a little listen to the questions in that were asked. It is translated.
But I'm a long-standing user.
Okay, we need to boost the audio. That's why we got this little add-on.
I'm a recent shareholder, but I'm a long-standing user of Ubisoft wares. I have a couple of questions. First of all, regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows. There's been a lot of controversy regarding that game. How do you respond? Ubisoft has been accused and criticized for this.
Like I said, that is a translation, a real-time translation back then. And you see, that's Yves Guillemot, and that's the CFO. What was Duguay? However you pronounce his name. And he's taking notes. Like, he's not just lazy in that sense, of course. He takes notes. Will those notes help him? Probably not, because he keeps on lying pretty much.
Wokest trend. I mean, this is happening in 16. Ubisoft has been
Listen to the question again.
Accused and criticized for this wokest trend. I mean, this is happening in 16th century medieval Japan, and the main character is an African samurai. That's a bold choice, but
so the question comes from a gamer, all right? And the gamer who got hold on some stocks and now is able to ask directly the CEO, finally, that he got stocks, right? And he goes like in very specific stuff and makes like the case. Yeah, what do you say about you woke crap? And I mean, I assume it's a guy.
Ubisoft, and in the story he falls in love. That's one of the possibilities of the game. He gets to fall in love with a transgender character. So, woke or no woke? How do you explain Ubisoft's deteriorated reputation?
He can't explain it, obviously. He tries to find good characters. Historical the journeys of legendary journeys and all that bullcrap. That was his answer, and no answer, pretty much, right? So yeah, I think he made Ubisoft probably even worse for people. Ahoy, what was it? Godzilla, of course. And I will not eat the box. You will eat the box. You have to. So yeah. What do you think about you making woke stuff? And the gamer goes into details like you have this black samurai. He was never a samurai. And he can even get in love with transsexuals. Which is more woke crap in the game, right? And his answer was like, do I need to repeat it? I forgot like his words. We wanted to showcase characters with heroic journeys. That's so stupid. That's high-level stupidity, in my opinion. Down in the video description is also linked a little bigger portion, YouTube link of this questioning and the answer, actually. But it's very difficult to listen to because it's more difficult than to listen to me. It has a French accent. So there you go. But the link is down below. And it goes on because he was asked by the same guy about stop killing games, the petition in the EU. Now they have to talk about that in politics. Yeah. Ubisoft CEO addresses stop killing games after overseeing the deaths of the crew and ex-Defiant. Support for all games cannot last forever. And that's where you see he's full of shit again. Because stop killing games is not about support, getting support for games you kill. It's literally about giving us the ability to still keep playing at least the solo player parts. For fuck's sake. So again, making just a case where no case really is. The EU consumer rights campaign Stop Killing Games reached its 1 million signature goal earlier this month. Now it's 1.4 million, so I have a nice overdrive there. Just to be sure, have another legit signatures, right? Snowballing out from Ubisoft's shutdown of racing game The Crew in 2024. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot was asked to respond to the movement at a recent shareholders meeting, and while that response was tentative, it wasn't a complete dismissal. In my opinion, it was. It just shows you how more full of shit you are. Sorry, that's just my opinion. Yves Guillemot. He's, by the way, from the Guillemot family who has founded Ubisoft, right? Because Ubisoft was actually back in the days, 4 decades ago, farmers suppliers for farmers equipment and all that, and went into hardware for PC first, and then of course with PC hardware comes PC software. Which Ubisoft for that, right? Regarding the petition, we operate in markets, and whenever we release a game, we provide a lot of support for that game. Do you really? We also provide a lot of services to make sure that the game is accessible and remains playable 24/7. You don't know. Guillemot says that the company provides information regarding the game and how long the game can be played. The Crew did have a badge on its front box noting online connection required, which is good, which was required probably by lawmakers. Otherwise you would be in trouble, even in bigger trouble, right? So don't pretend like you did like a service to the player base by telling us, oh, you're required, by the way, for online connection the whole time. And a notice in the fine print on the back that Ubisoft may cancel access to one or more specific online features upon a 30-day prior notice. Like, yeah, we're gonna tell you at least 30 days before we shut down everything. Don't worry, you're gonna find out soon enough. That's just cheap, man. It's just fucking cheap. It's horrible. It's horrible how they treat gamers and how they started treating gamers. Now it's all over the industry. It's not only Ubisoft. Additionally, Guillemot cites a €1 fee proposed to all buyers of the game. For just €1 they got to buy the next version. Game file notes. This appears to be in reference to a big sale on the Crew 2, which ran across digital marketplaces in 2024, bringing the price down to €1. I didn't even know about that. That's like the first time I read about the Crew 2, and having it for $1 only. You make it sound like you're doing a favor again to the gamers. It's not a whole lot of money to be able to continue playing a game. No, it's not a lot of money, but if everybody wants like $1 here for every month on every game the whole time, it's gonna stack up on the player's wallet, you know? It's gonna take out a lot of money from the gamers. So yeah, you might make it sound like it's not a big deal. But this kind of issue is not specific to Ubisoft. Yeah, we all fuck you in the ass. Not only our company or our corporation. all of us in the industry fuck you over. Don't worry, man. Your asshole is gonna be fine. Don't worry. All video game publishers are faced with that issue. You provide a service, but nothing is written in stone, and at some point, the service may be discontinued. Nothing is eternal, and we are doing our best to make sure that things go well for all players and buyers, because obviously support for all games cannot last forever. Again, we are not asking for eternal support. Just make the game playable in solo. Give out one patch, and with that patch you can change like the terms of service and all that, because it's no service anymore there. Like, we are not liable from this point on, with this patch on, that your PC might explode. Whatever, right? It doesn't matter. But with this patch, you are going to be able to play it on this operating system in this time and frame from now on solo missions. Thank you there for the follow. Happy Monday, everyone. Ahoy, Neuro. Equal opportunity. Sail the high seas. Yeah, you can do that. Is support for all games cannot last forever, then piracy is not legal. It's not even about that, really, either. It is of course true that no game can be supported forever, but forcing companies into perpetual updates isn't what Stop Killing Games is trying to do. Thank you, Games Radar, right there. At least some game journalists have some brain cells there. Thank you for pointing that out again. The lifespan of a piece of software, whether there's a service component, eventually service may be discontinued, because eventually the software may become obsolete or over time. A lot of tools become obsolete 10 or 15 years down the line. They're no longer available. And that is why we release a new version. And so we have version 2 and then version 3. But clearly this is a far-reaching issue, and we are working on it. So you're just telling me, yeah, you want to bleed us out money-wise. You just want, like, give us a new version. The graphics look more interesting and all that, right? But it plays the same. It's the same game, actually, beneath it. Just like with the Crew, you bring out the Crew 2, nobody really realized there's the Crew 2, but you go the same path. Online services. But it works that you make it able, a game, even 20 years after its release, it's still being playable on newer systems. GeoG, I'm going to point it out again. GeoG is the perfect example for all that. Just get in contact with GeoG, give them like the rights in that sense that they can modify the game to be able to play it on newer systems. Give them the opportunity. You're not liable anymore, that's fine. Give them the opportunity, but you still can get like money for every sales. It seems to work on GeoG. It seems to work on GeoG even with your games. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and the Two Thrones. I can buy it right now. I have it already in my library. I can buy it on GeoG. I can install it. It will work. It is a little bit stiff on some issues, but it will fucking work. It will fuck. And if it doesn't work, they will refund you. So they have like an incentive, the GeoG team, to make it work, right? Otherwise, it will be refunded, and they will give you a refund. They might ask you, why do you want a refund? But they will give you the refund, actually. I used that opportunity a few times already. Don't forget to repost. Yeah, you can do that. I would appreciate that. Hello, Half-Life? What about Half-Life? I haven't played Half-Life forever. I haven't played Half-Life forever. I'm going to be very honest about that. I played it a lot, but I don't know if Half-Life will still be able to play it. Probably yes, because it's like the main game of Valve, right? But yeah, again, he's just full of it and just pretends like, yeah, we can't give you good games anymore either, but just pay $1 a month for this game. Come on, what's the big deal? It's not a lot of money. Asshole. And they go on and go on with bad news for everybody, especially for themselves, because stock price will go down because of the news. You can also download the offline installer package. Yes, that way you can archive most of your UrhG library offline and install them on other PCs. Yes, and when you do that, here a good advice. I think it's a good advice by me, by the pro here. Huh? Pay attention. Get a Blu-ray drive, a Blu-ray writer. Get a Blu-ray writer who can write like multiple layers. Just check out, they are not super expensive. You should get one for 60, 70 bucks. And it's going to be a decent one, right? And get Millennium discs. They are called Millennium disc. Those are like coated with ceramic, and they are just the longevity of the disc is more guaranteed. For your lifetime, it should be fine. And just burn stuff on those. Very simple advice. Blu-ray driver, Blu-ray drive with burning abilities, multi-layer. Get those Millennium disc, 50 gigabyte disc are available. They're not too expensive, but coated with ceramic, very durable and all that shit. And burn your most used stuff on those, the offline installer. I did that with The Witcher 3 on the old version, because you can't get those anymore on UrhG itself. They might be on servers, but you have no links. 1.3, I have still 1.3 on my 50 gigabyte Blu-ray. And I just tested it out on Friday or Saturday it was. Just put in the disc just to check it out, and perfectly readable still. Yes, I have a Blu-ray drive still in my main PC. Not gonna get rid of. I have actually this drive twice. Just saying, man. That's how you preserve your stuff. Feel the burn. Don't burn them too much. It's a fire hazard. No, those drives are excellent these days. Just burn it like not the highest speed. Go like the next lower one. It's gonna be fine. Ubisoft claims microtransactions help players experience more fun. Did you know that, guys? Did you know that if you pay more microtransactions crap, you're gonna have more fun, man? It's obvious, right? You're gonna invest money in microtransaction and gonna be having more fun. It's so obvious. What are you waiting for? Invest all the money in Ubisoft microtransactions. You're gonna be the most fun human being ever. Oh, so stupid. There are so many opportunities for leisure in the summertime. You can read at the beach, slurp up some Italian ice, but you have to admit, completing microtransaction is much more versatile. No. It's all-season entertainment, right? Paying more money for a game you thought you already paid for? Rainbow Six and Assassin's Creed developer Ubisoft seems to think so, telling investors its most recent annual financial report that monetization with premium games makes the player experience more fun. Yeah, you're having a premium game there. You paid already premium prices, but if you pay more, you're gonna be more happy. Didn't you know that? This is always optional, Ubisoft stresses, but players like to pay to personalize their avatars or progress more quickly. I don't know if I can admit that's true or not, because don't ever underestimate the stupidity of players, right? Never think too high of players, especially the majority. It seems to be true though, because Fortnite is making its money just by buying skins all the fucking time. Like millions and millions of people buying on a weekly basis all those new skins, and it seems to pay off. It might be true, but I think it's not connected to fun. That's my main point here. I think people like to personalize their avatars. That's very true. But if the market is like oversaturated, like in Fortnite, I don't care. At one point, there is the point of no care anymore. And Fortnite, for example, has reached that point long ago. Like, there are like what 100,000 skins in Fortnite. You can modify your shoes with your top, the skin itself, the character, whatever, hairstyle. There are like probably billions of opportunities for players to personalize. But with too many choices comes like the saturation. Like, it looks then at one point it looks the same. Like, everybody tries to be different, but it looks, and in the end, the same. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time in admiring another character or my own. Like, oh, look how nice those shoes look like, man. Look at, I paid $5 for the skins of those shoes. I think I'm never gonna come to that point ever in any games, really. And do you remember those times where you play the game through and then you were rewarded with a nice skin? And it was like something special. Many games had that. You played the game through and finally get this unique skin because you went through the game, and the game might be like more difficult, and with different outcomes in certain games, you get like even a more specialized suit or skin, or a new weapon skin, or a new weapon in general. You know, those times. You remember those times? I think people are looking back to those times and feel like, oh yeah, if I buy this skin now, if I invest money, I have this same old feeling. You're never going to get this old feeling because you achieved nothing. You're just investing money. You're just not wasting time in that sense, and just swapped the time for money. But you're not going to feel the same, man. I'm telling you, because there's something about achieving like the end of a game with a certain thing. And there are some games like you can play it only once through, and if you miss the opportunity to do this or that, you're not going to get this reward. You're not going to get this specialized skin for that because you missed the opportunity. You can go back to this area and all that, but you're never going to be able to do the boss in that fashion, for example. I don't know, man. They are full of it, as usual. There are people that pay to play. I mean, you should always pay to play because a good game needs to be paid in general, I would say. Oh, let me scroll. I have modded drives for ripping 4K movies. FBI, go after haste! Now, quickly! You don't even need to mod. There's still software out there in the wide opens of the World Wide Webs, you know. Ubisoft loves micro things. They make you soft. Bullshit! I paid for the permanent XP boost for AC Odyssey and Valhalla. And you like that? I mean, like for a permanent thing, it might be okay, but even that, I keep away from stuff like that usually. On mobile gaming, I actually find it interesting when you have certain mobile games where you pay like one-time fee, and it is a fee, to get rid of the ads entirely. You're not gonna get like the rest of the microtransaction stuff, but if you are being able to just get rid of the ads only by giving them $2-3 and you can enjoy the game without ads at all, why not this way? Why not this way? When I have to buy stuff in game, it makes me feel like a loser. Yeah. It took forever to gain a level up. Saint, are you maybe a game journalist? Are you maybe a game journalist? I would rather buy real stuff in real life. Yes. Overall, yes. Or earn it in game. Yeah, that's what I said. There are people do the pay to play, but I always found that lame. You mean pay to win? Was that maybe what you wanted to say? For the most part, let me rephrase that. I'd rather spend money on stuff I can touch. You spend money on me. You want to touch me, Eden. I know it. I know it. She wants to touch me. I think Path of Exile 1 does it mostly right. The game is free, but you can buy various things if you want to. I like loot boxes in Overwatch where you earn them. Bought stash space in Path of Exile 2. Yeah, but that's how they get you, man. With like the little things, that's how they get you. I bought it already. I can invest again. I can do this microtransaction again. It doesn't hurt anybody. I can do it again. It's so nice. I can get like this only this one little thing next. Only this one. It's gonna be all right. I'm not gonna invest more. I promise myself. Many people are like that. A few people are like, yeah, I need just more inventory, and I can't get around, otherwise the game is gonna be unplayable. I have to go back and forth to a merchant, to a vendor, do like the selling and buying the whole time, every 5 minutes. And with this purchase, I don't need to do that anymore. I can do it like in 1 hour and at max and all that stuff. I know how it is. But that's how they get you. You know what I mean? Beware the Nintendo Special Forces. Pay-to-play games are different, though. They give massive advantage to someone who play for 5 minutes versus someone grinding for weeks. No, that's pay-to-win. That's pay-to-win what you mean. That is what I am talking about. But those type of games often suck. Yeah, like the majority of them, for sure. Diablo Immortal. LOL! She wants to touch me. That's her admission. She just admitted. No, I'm not a game journal. I just don't have the patience. Just like game journals. That's exactly what the game journal list would say. No, for me it was a one-time purchase. $10 is all I spend. So I look at it like I paid $20 for the game. OFP. By definition, yes, pay to win, but is generally called pay to play, Ike. What do you mean? Regular games are paid to play. What you mean is actually like it's called pay to win. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Yeah, but here we are. Ubisoft now telling us if you do more microtransaction, you're going to have more fun. Because they try to connect the serotonin and the adrenaline rush with personalizing your avatar with fun. Which is complete bullshit. It's absolutely crap talking here. You know what I like in micro? This news I found like really nice. Have you ever heard of the Nintendo Kawaii? Oh, Kawaii! Nintendo Kawaii! Oh! Somebody had made a Nintendo Wii into a Nintendo Micro. The Kawaii. The cute. Or adorable in Japanese. Cute, adorable. That's how it looks. It's very small. You're gonna see in a bit, but that's how it looks. You can carry this one with you on a keychain. Those are the dimensions. 60 by 60 by 15.8 millimeters. CNC aluminum chassis, anodized with laser etching artwork, which is this. Looks okay. Fake compliance marking, keychain, tasseled loop, Omega trimmed undervolted Hollywood 2 Wii mini motherboard, Afflex and Nantflex, don't really know what that is, powered by Thunderbolt. Internal micro SD card for homebrew and games, 6 internal addressable RGB LEDs, a magnetic pogo pin docking connector, composite video 480p YPBR, and stereo audio output. 4-player GameCube controller connectivity via magnetic dock. So the whole Wii you can take with you, and when you are home or at your friends, maybe he can't afford like a Nintendo Kawaii. he has maybe the dock. So you need the dock though in general to play it. But that's how it looks. It's very small. Here you see the connectors, right? That's how big they are. That's the whole controller, and that's the keychain Nintendo Wii. It looks super professional, right? It looks very durable. That's the whole connector with all the information, audio, video. It looks just cool, man. I love shit like that. And that's how the board is. He trimmed it down. That guy just found out how much can I file away, how much can I grind the board on the sides. So the functionality is pretty much still there. What do I need to resolder? Which connector is doable? So you have here the connector plus the SD card. That's just crazy, man. I don't want to know how many Nintendo Wii he destroyed to find out how far he can go. You know? That's for comparison, Nintendo Game Boy Color cartridge. It's a little bit smaller, just a little bit thicker though. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. How you even find out, you know, how far you can file it down, but still being able to use it. Put it in the dock, connect it to power. One cable only for everything you need. That's crazy. I think it was English. Things don't always make sense in English. Times 16 times the detail on what? Looks like a condom packet. Of course she thinks only about that. Also, modern made this? Yeah. Not Nintendo. Nintendo would never give you that opportunity. They would sell that stuff, and people would love it and demand games being still produced on discs. They're not gonna do that. I was wondering why Nintendo would make such a product. They got this point by retro modders competing with each other. Nintendo waiting for a release date with a season of this letter. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? It's gonna be a risk for this guy who made that thing, for sure. You can make the smallest handheld. That's a really cool custom build. It's one of the coolest I've ever seen in gaming hardware history, actually. Look how small it is. Look how much work he has done. Like, yeah, we just need to connect here. One very thin wire to make it happen. Do this little mod chip on the back. I can file only to this point here, you know. Otherwise, I would destroy some layers too much. It's just insanity. Smart guy for sure. Smart guy and amazing work done. Was he Asian with small hands? Maybe. I just wanted to give a little bit good news out there, and I think that's stuff is like very good news for us gaming fans. Nintendo currently retained 98% of its staff plus other data. In the times of layoffs in the industry, that's like good numbers. Although the gaming industry has been hit pretty hard by layoffs over the past few years, it seems that in comparison, Nintendo has been relatively immune to similar challenges. And it goes just into some data and all that. I found that only interesting in pointing out something here. Here you have like the whole sheet, a little bit more spread out in a table. The first one, I just found it interesting. And since Ever Eden is still around, listen very carefully, Ever Eden. You might be applying to it. I don't know. I would if I was in Australia, because I'm a retard, and since you're a follower of this channel, you're a retard yourself. Person with disability, Nintendo of Japan. We have 78 in total. Male 50, woman 28. So males are way more retarded in Japan. Nintendo of America, they keep it level. Women are probably more retarded there. 138 total. 63 male, 68 female. Woman, not female. Because not every woman is a female, right? Nintendo of Europe, 17 only. 9 in male department, 8 in woman. Nintendo Australia, Ever Eden. You should apply. Just tell them you are super retarded. You're absolutely the most retarded out there. But you love gaming. Please, get me. You're going to be the first. You're going to be the first, total. You might even say like, I'm so retarded, I think I'm a male. You can play double there. Just saying. I just found it interesting that they give us those very detailed numbers here. Amazing. But good that they retained like most of their staff. Nintendo doing a good job there. Can't blame them. Oh my god, I'm also brown and a woman. Little side note only, because we are a little bit over, but that's normal for Mondays because I have to cover like 3 days almost. Captain Planet and the Planeteers live action series set at Netflix. Yeah, there you go. Live action show of the Captain Planet. I watched it as a kid. I just liked the show. I didn't care too much about the topics really. And today, in today's time, many see like a lot of messaging in it. Might be the case. I'm not going to rewatch that crap because I don't care that much. I just love the theme in German. Captain Planet, hero of our planet, and all that shit. Of our Earth, you know. I just sang along as a kid, right? But Netflix is going to give you a live action adaptation of this. Are you looking forward to being messaged about that? Because Leonardo DiCaprio is going to produce it, by the way. That's all I can say for now. If you want to read the whole article by Variety, the link is down below. What the fuck? I was just talking about it tonight. Captain Planet? I don't know. Many see like Craig from Side Scrollers talked about a little clip there with messaging and all that. I'm always a little bit skeptical about messaging and those old shows. I mean, Captain Planet, the show, was about environment, right? Saving the planet and all that. And I have zero against that. Yeah, conserve your fucking living place. Don't shit in every place. Keep it clean if you can, right? Don't throw like your shit into the river just like that. Make it habitable, right, for yourself and your future generations. There's nothing wrong with that, really. So I don't see an issue with the show in general. and just picking like one snippet out of the whole show and call it like the whole messaging in it. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to rewatch to maybe see like it was full with messaging. Might be the case. I don't feel like I retained a lot of information, a lot of messaging, a lot of like character from the makers telling me what I should do. I was there for the fucking rings, the power, getting Captain Planet together, and he is beating up somebody. I didn't care for the rest. And I think most people actually, most kids felt the same way. I was singing the theme tonight. Yes, we were talking about how bad it would be if it was made new and the series nowadays. Who were talking to you with? Why not with me? Oh, Stellar Blade. I didn't talk about that. Stellar Blade's social media hacked in cryptocurrency scam. Yeah, the official X account was hacked, and they put out some crypto scamming stuff. Like, go buy Stellar coins. Totally legit. It has the same name, Stellar. Stellar Blade maker Shift Up is having to fight off hackers as its X or Twitter account has been compromised and is promoting a cryptocurrency scam. The game's director UrhG Kim has been communicating with fans on social media, urging them to not to interact with anything the page posts. He made the following statement. Hello, this is UrhG Kim, director of Stellar Blade. The official Stellar Blade account has been compromised. And authorization post containing cryptocurrency, airdrops and suspicious signals promotions are currently being uploaded. We will kindly ask everyone to refrain from getting anything from that page. Yeah, I agree. Just be aware, stuff like that happens all the time. I'm just surprised it happened of all places to the Stellar Blade account. And it was like the official account. It was hacked. It was compromised, which is super scary in general because somebody made that money. No matter how long it was up for, even 2-3 hours, if it got to like 10,000 people, at least 1% got something out of that. And they're gonna lose money. I hope they just invested maybe only like $5, whatever. Hopefully not many people lost money. But if you're a totally gooner over her ass, what was her name? Eve, I think it was her name. Never played the game. Too expensive for me. If you're gooning over her ass, you might be like just turning off your brain and Stellar coins. Yeah, to the moon. BitConnect. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Ready or Not hits 1 million console sales in 4 days despite censorship, in quotation, claims from its PC players. It's not in quotation, it is censorship. They did censor it. But not like missions or anything like that, like somebody in the chat thought, blamed it on my ignorance. I was more aware of that shit. It was revealed. You're just not gonna see nudity. They just got nudity out of the game because of reasons I don't really know. If you are gonna kill people in the game, you also can show nipples. I'm very confused all the time about stuff like that. But yes, the game very successful. 1 million sales in 4 days. That's pretty amazing, actually. For a game that was not very well known, and because of the controversy about modding, about taking out the nudity. On PC you can mod it, you have a mod, you can make the nipples shine again, by the way. Ready or Not, the violent and controversial shooter from Void Interactive, has topped 1 million sales on consoles in just 4 days. When we launched Ready or Not on PC, it took about 36 days to reach 1 million units sold. Also, big achievement in a little bit more than a month. 1 million units, that's always amazing. On console, it took about 3.6 days, like attempt. Rodriguez wrote, I'm incredibly proud of the team and what we've accomplished together. It's a huge moment and one we don't take for granted. That's always good to hear and read when the game developer and publisher thank the audience, like just for basic stuff. Like if you made something good and people are enjoying it, word of mouth is traveling around the globe and people are going to buy it. And maybe people want to see, oh, why is it so controversial? But the school shooting mission is still there and all that. Just nipples are gone. I guess people can live with that. Game reviews are holding strong as we head into our first weekend, and the team is already hard at working work ironing out issues and continuously improving the experience. To our players, partners, and everyone who believed in the project, thank you. Yeah, that's all I can say for that. It seems to be successful. It seems to people are enjoying it. All good in my opinion. And if you're doing it on PC, just mod it if you want to see nipples so badly. Opportunity is there. Stellar backside. She has a nice ass. I'm wondering how Wu-Chang ass will compare. Wu-Chang, yeah, I think you wrote it wrong there. Don't know. Don't remember names. People know by now. I can names bad. I appreciate Ike's authenticity in how he read in Asian English. I tried. It was not really good. I know. I had Ghetto TV and I watched Captain Planet. But I went to strip clubs. Like, what the fuck? Why take out the scenes? Gay. It wasn't only strip clubs. Because the game... Where is it? Ready or Not is about swatting. About SWAT teams, rescuing missions, and all that. It's like a Rainbow Six, just different graphics and all that, right? Different company who makes it. And you're going to rescue people, and there are missions like human trafficking in containers. You haven't checked it out, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't make such a statement only. And in a container, there are like females who were shipped, literally human trafficking, right, in a container. And those females were originally all naked, right, in the container, for example. So it's not only in the strip club and all that. And I think they could have kept it in. I don't know why they took it out, because the game is super violent. It's already rated R, right? So why not showing also nipples and all that? Not sure. More authenticity, I think. But yeah, that's just me. Now that I just found interesting. And I think it's the first game ever so far that claims to be delivering this one. PS5 Pro pockets a native 8K 60 frames per second game. There are vanishingly few 8K games on PS5 Pro, but Pure Pool Pro is aiming to extract every drop of juice from Sony's supercharged systems. And we're gonna just watch it. It looks just more real life. With such high resolution, you can make it look better. It looks pretty amazing, very detailed. Forgive the picture quality in general, because it's 8K YouTube. Up to 4K YouTube is great. 8K falls apart. But you see, it's very high resolution. Very high texture balls here, giggity. It looks good, and you can do that in such a game for sure. Like in a pool game where everything revolves around the pool table, and you don't have like stuff exploding. You can focus everything on the balls and on the table itself, and the realism, like the ball movement, the physics, and all that. That's an opportunity, and they show it to us. it's a pre-alpha. It's not out there, so you're gonna wait for a little bit more, and they might make it better. We know it sounds like a tall claim, but the nature of the pool being fixed around the table, our relatively lightweight proprietary engine, and our initial pre-alpha testing before any optimizations lead us to believe it's achievable. And I think so too. I think so, just by the nature of the game itself. I think you can deliver an 8K gaming experience without upscaling, by the way. It's native 8K they are delivering to you in the near future. I find it amazing, and it looks like the PS5 Pro can give you that. If it is with ray tracing, that's a different story. The ray tracing would make everything look a little bit more real. But yeah, interesting, isn't it? I think that's a lot of balls. I focus on the balls and the realism. I did. The balls look very shiny. The Chinese room is independent again. Here's how it happened. Just pretty much a side note. I talked about it because they are developing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and that studio is now independent from the parent company. They are independent now, and maybe we get better games. Who knows? Celebrated UK game developer The Chinese Room has announced it has completed a management buyout of previous owners Sumo Digital, making it independent once again. We are continuing to work on original IP as well as with partner IP, just as we have been with Still Wakes, the deep development alongside Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 with Paradox Interactive. Studio director Ed Delay tells GameIndustry.biz. The studio is currently working on 2 new IPs. Keep your work focused on what you have already. Don't just go offside doing new stuff already. Make new games you are working currently. Stop thinking about too much. Going forward, the hope is to work on both original IP and partner project with their visions aligned. Yeah, we might get now a better Vampire the Masquerade. There are fans out there, and many fans were very worried if that might not come out, but they guaranteed us, they just changed the studio, the game is gonna come out, don't worry, and all that. In the original reports, they had to lay off 100 people, at least 100 people, right? But it seems it is working out for now, and yeah, good for them, hopefully. Torador, that would be cool. PS5 Pro is a good system and it performs well around 250 watt. That's a lot of watt for console. Remember when a console didn't want any watts? Really? That's the beauty of Nintendo consoles. They were always like very low power consuming, actually. 250 watt, that's a lot for a console. But it gives you at least nice visuals, right? And last for today, everybody. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I just want to point out, I already talked a little bit about it, but now we got one little detail. Amazon's Mass Effect TV series, yes, Mass Effect, I told you, I don't know how many weeks, 5 weeks ago maybe. It's going to have a live-action TV show. Supposedly live action, it could be all CGI, for what I know. And shares Fallout's successful production team. And yes, Fallout, the TV show, was successful. Is it really amazing? No. Is it good? Maybe. Is it okay? Yes, absolutely. It is okay, watch it once and forget about it. The same team is behind now the Mass Effect TV series in the future. How you feel about that? Tell me right now in the chat. I'm going to invest 2-3 more minutes. I'm going to be with you here to talk maybe a little bit about it. The Amazon TV show was hot garbage. That's not true. It was maybe garbage for some people. Don't pretend like the Fallout, like the lore is really that deep either, right? Don't pretend. Keep it real. The Fallout, just like with the Elder Scroll series, it's there. Like some stories in the bigger world is interesting and all that, but overall, most people didn't really care too much about the story. Firstly, because the games are always buggy. Bethesda games, always fucking buggy. And the beauty of those games were always the mod community, giving you something new, something more fun. Only really few people really played it through the whole main story. Only really few people. Many people knew always, yeah, we're gonna get this Elder Scroll now, and we're gonna mod the shit out of it and have fun with a new UI, with new spells, with new possibilities and all that. Story-wise, Fallout and Elder Scrolls never really super great. Very good, but not like, nah, not really. Keep it real to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. The black guy going to the Brotherhood of Steel after the incompetent white guy got killed by a fuck bear. Yeah, that part, I mentioned that already. I don't like that story. The black Brotherhood guy. Very lame overall. He did nothing really to achieve anything of those goals, right? I agree on his story, but overall, it's an okay story. She leaves the vault, right? She is super naive, thinks the world is super fun and all that shit. It gives you like the feeling of this stupidity of the vault inhabitants, right? She comes back to save some of the vault inhabitants and sees how it really works and all that. So that part of the story was quite okay. I just like the visuals. Visually, it's perfectly fine. That's what I mean. You can watch it, but don't expect like something amazing. That's what I said too. I mean, Brotherhood, a guy getting killed by a bear was retarded. I'm not disputing you on that. Like I said, that's part of the black guys. I don't even remember the names of the characters. So you know how I mean it. Just watch it once, have fun with it maybe, just like turn off your brain. Hopefully you can get over the black dude's story, whatever. It was a retarded woke show. Woke? I don't know about woke. It didn't feel too woke, really. But we don't need all to like stuff. It's not like I liked it. It was just like, for what it was enjoyable. It was like Last Jedi. Okay? It's not like I liked Last Jedi also that much at all. Anyhow, we filled up 1.5 hours. I hope you enjoyed my screaming. I hope you enjoyed my news. I think I selected nice news today again for the last 3 days. And it's always a hassle. Sometimes you have too much news, sometimes you have not enough interesting news. This weekend was filled with all kinds of news, but it didn't feel like I need to point out news about Donkey Kong Bonanza. You're gonna have many other places who talk about that. I try to pick out news which might be overseen by the majority, actually. And hopefully you have new information. Hopefully you are now more informed. If yes, leave a like. And you're gonna see me tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, here on this channel. Either Rumble, YouTube, Kick, or Twitch, doesn't matter. You can follow me everywhere there. Follow me also on X, just to make that account grow there. I don't know if that helps anyhow, but might, I don't know. I thank you for being in the chat. I hope you have a great rest of your day. My name is Ike. That was Switzerland Played with TAGN, the Angry Game News. Every day, 10 a.m. Eastern. Monday through Friday. Here. Bye-bye.